A giant version of this.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. The presentation session of Enhancing Hong Kong's Strategic Position as a Regional and International Business Center will begin shortly. Each presentation will take 35 minutes, followed by a 5 minutes question and answer session. Let's now welcome the first presenter, Dr. Simon Chow from the University of Hong Kong.
Okay, when they identify, I would like to say a few words. Yes, good morning, and we are fortunate to be one of the theme-based project, and we are the second round one. And this one talking about enhancing Hong Kong as a world-leading financial center. And for the past year, we are second round. For the past year, we do a larger scale of the research. Now, currently, we are helping. We are also undertaking one big survey with the Financial and Service Development Council and also the Financial Bureau as well. Larger scale that cover all firms, almost all firms, association, institution in Hong Kong. And now this one, we have four themes. Legal one, China banking, China IMB, and geographical, and also another corporate governance. So what this present basically talking about economic geographical perspective and on financial center. So the topic is global and financial center in the 21st century. We are looking at the size, structure, and the sub-center evolution and implication to Hong Kong. That is roughly the topic. Our outline, we have at least three parts. Financial center, size, structure, and evolution. And second, sub-center and its implication. And further, we would like to conceptualize those financial spatial structure, sub-center, and then looking at different implication to Hong Kong. Okay, let's go to the first part that we talk about in the global urban level. Wait a minute, we have another, okay. Yeah, okay. In this study, we basically focus on employment. Okay, in the advanced business service, we call ABS. This including banking, security, and insurance, real estate, and legal accounting, basically 5 sectors that we treat. This is the core area of financial service. So the employment in this sector is what we concern. And the data source, we have the largest scale that looking at different countries. Data source and the trace for past many years. Let's say our data will show that. So the first, we look at the advanced business service in the total employment, the share of them. Looking at is from the 1950, the share. From this data, you will roughly see economy. It is driven by advanced business service. In Hong Kong, UK, and Germany, and United States, and Japan, and China as well. The share is going up, but the difference, we can see the two is UK and United States, Hong Kong, and here. And those production base, they do have Japanese here a little bit lower, and Germany and Hong Kong is about this. You can distinguish. Some is a service-driven or service-based economy, and some is production economy. The share is good, and then this is ratio to manufacture. During this period, the manufacture dramatically declined, and then all economy driven to service economy. And Hong Kong in that period particularly phenomenal. You can see the ratio is much faster, rapid than other economy. And then we do have a roughly correlation. They see this one, the data here, Hong Kong, particularly in this central line, some correlation for their employment driven. So service economy, you can see United States, they 0.78, and then UK 0.81, and then Japan, and not that much, 0.58, and this one, Hong Kong, in fact, the data is not fully represent. I will talk to you later. And even Germany, 0.7. And then I can tell, because this data, they only up to 2005. In fact, we calculate another one up to now. Hong Kong, this data even go to here, Hong Kong, yes, Hong Kong 0.49, go to 90. Okay, 0.90 Hong Kong. If we from 95 up to now, we go to 90. It shows you all economy, and no matter in the global scale, in the national scale, and our one in the city scale, they are all driven by this category. These are the ones. Okay. So now this one talking about the growth rate during these long periods. The growth rate you also is difficult to understand, but basically you can see the red one is manufacturing, and then the blue one is the one's service. The green one is the total. You can see basically showing you the picture the same as the table. They are driven by advanced service. And China one also come into the picture, but a little bit unfortunately, we are very difficult to, like the Western data, set banking, insurance, real estate. China one, they only have a general service. So data is not that comparable to the Western data, but the trend do show you also have the growth in the China. In this one is not in this one, but the 2005 this one manufacturer is still the high one. ABS in China in this one you can see is steady. Okay, now we come to the city level. That is a global, national level. We come to the city level, the total employment, New York, London, and Hong Kong. You can see that this is total scale. Okay, total scale, you see New York, London on the top, and then Hong Kong about half size of the New York of London. This show you the agglomeration, the scale of economy, the size matters in here. Let's say why is that size matters? This is total employment, and we are about half size. Why size matter? Okay, this is the ABX employment absolute term. Okay, we are also about half size or a little bit less half size of that two financial center. We set them as a benchmark. The size here it matters. Why? Because the size show you they serve the global and national and regional economy, and our Hong Kong. You can see we cannot excuse us. We are just a small city, and then we can be small size. It's not necessary. London also a city, globally. If in contrast to his national economy, also not that big as well. But they will serve a larger area. And now Hong Kong, of course, your guy know we have institution barely here. Hong Kong sometimes not able to serve that much as they can. So they show you size matters. And okay, we go to the structure. You can see this one. Hong Kong also have the very special character as well. Roughly in the financial part, this is total. This ABS. Okay, in this chart you can see roughly we have this similar financial service in terms of their structure, the job, but. Obviously, you can see we are particularly dominated by real estate sector, and we are particularly weak in the accounting and legal sector, legal accounting sector. So, and this one you can see very similar, okay, and London particularly in strong in this legal and accounting area. And this really echo recent our interview survey across the all firm talking about compliancy and talking about also ethic matters. Be very difficult to find the human resource in this category, and they show we are particularly in this area. And also the character of the London and then further down, and this is within the sector. You can see basically still the say chart. You can see more prominent. Okay, this Hong Kong. Okay, so that also tell our problem. And now this is talking about normalize this one. You can see from the 2000, from 2000 how much it grows, and then ABS growth, total employment, and this one of course China, I said it is dramatic growth, but not necessarily comparable. But you can see here national US UK, they total growth they do. But the one thing you can see that the blue one, ABS, United States, in fact, is decline from the beginning. Decline here. You can see this is the national. Okay. You also see a city level. This is Hong Kong. Okay, that is showing you total employment do achieve a reasonable growth. Even total employment in New York and London, they also grows. But you can see ABS. Interesting one. Hong Kong is dramatic growth in ABS, but New York in fact decline. And also London, you can see that is a phenomenal one. Growth, and this not only see past decade growth, also see the volatility of the financial sector in responding to the crisis. Because from here, the dot-com, and then dot-com bubble and burst, and then here, and then the financial crisis driven surprise by United States surprise. You can see that volatility, and then Hong Kong doing reasonably well. Okay, you can look at that slightly steady here, but keep going. So it talking about the resilience to the crisis here. Okay, we also see Singapore normalize, Singapore and Japan as well, Tokyo as well. You can see Singapore also achieve growth. In fact, because the scale is different. Singapore, if you look at this one, Singapore is growth higher than Hong Kong, much higher, a little bit higher, not much higher. And again, you can see this is the total employment. You can see Japanese, the red one is Japanese, also in the longer period is not growth. And this is Tokyo, slightly growth, Tokyo, this is total, and then we further down. And this is ABS, basically Singapore growth. Japan basically steadily going down or stay there. The first one we can have Tokyo, because Tokyo don't have that many data. We can the financial part, the finance and insurance. We do have the Tokyo one. So that the red one, this is Japan. You can see the Japanese only little bit grow one is the accounting and legal. This is Singapore. So this is the index of the concentration. We will see how they concentrate, we particularly think U.S., China, but we skip this one now. The concentration, we will analysis on the other purpose. This particularly how financial center, the job consolidate into a particular center, and then we do found just quick say here, we do found some character. China is this is New York. United States is rather decentralized trend, rather decentralized. New York always decentralized, and then the national economy, the service is going down. But China is concentralized, is centralized. It just quick give you basically this is the matter. And then the different employment center, United States total. In Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago, there's total employment. The service, financial part, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and China, Beijing, Shanghai. Okay, they do have this job concentration particularly. This is the talking about the pay. Also a decentral concentration analysis, the payroll. But I don't think we did need it. They basically talking about the highly concentrate in the Manhattan, so I would like to skip this one. Okay, go to the another level now. Within the city, we also analysis the within city. This is London, the employment growth, London, city of London here, and Tower Hamlet, in fact, Canary Wharf, and then normalize. This data showing you the kind of the concentration within the city, okay? Because we have another part to present the subcenter, so we also roughly skip this one. Basically, London achieve more growth. Of course, they do have a little bit decentralized. You see this ABC, this is Canary Wharf, this is city. City is growth a little bit, but the Canary Wharf, the subcenter there. So we do the similar thing. This is the London employment, largely the spatial distribution, and also similar New York. Okay, New York one we will could tell you largely steady. In fact, it's going down. This total employment again Manhattan and New Jersey City. We a little bit two center Manhattan, and then also. New York State, and then further down, Gray New York, something like that. Looking at the how the job they, but New York basically we see a decentralized, as well as the whole nation, the decentralized, the financial job decentralized. You look at this, even the Manhattan here, okay, just able to even as the beginning point 2000. Other one, regional, you can see the decentralized. So we look at the New York urban, okay, use particular urban level, Manhattan, they going down, the ABS going down, okay, New York, they just show you this one, okay. That is the ABX job, X research, also Manhattan, the spatial distribution, the job here. And this is the Hong Kong one. Okay, Hong Kong, we also analysis that Hong Kong, you can see Hong Kong Island, Kowloon, and then Kowloon is area achieve reasonable growth, and then other one Hong Kong, they all growth, but the Kowloon side grow more. Okay, this is Hong Kong. Okay, we just give you a quick, give you some finding here. Hong Kong economy, despite recent growth, does not appear over financialized in relation to international financial center. We have a typical area. For example, our size is not big enough. Our structure also quite peculiar, or maybe under overdevelopment in real estate, but on the general financial service, particularly legal and accounting, we do shortage. Okay, this one, Hong Kong. And Hong Kong do show a resilience to financial crisis. But this one may largely relate to our property driven, because our property driven is local based, not as London New York, that global base. So we are luckily not that affected by the recent financial crisis. So domestic investment play important part in the local portfolio. ABS is concentrated in China part. We are difficult to make finding conclusion yet because the data is not that easy to compare. And another one, Beijing, Shanghai, more concentration increasing, become a larger hub for the ABS employment. That is for sure. And then further go down, we structure Hong Kong into the finance. Smaller scale, okay, compared to that, I already said. Interesting one is here, we need more, the last point, we need more research in this area. Why some centers always grow, why some always decline? In our data, we can see, in fact, the grow one, London, Singapore, Hong Kong, okay, and then decline one, the big economy, New York and Tokyo. We do see they all trying to go. Some is decline and some is decentralized. And this one, particularly London, after the 2008 crisis, they still able to pick up and then advance more than before crisis level. So that one is Singapore dramatical growth more than Hong Kong. Okay, Hong Kong also grows, but more driven by property. Okay, other part is weak. So we need more study in this area. We roughly see openness and parity and balance of regulation and development could be the key area for the financial center development. Okay, but we are not substantiated. And the second part, we do another one related to Hong Kong, because rapid development in mainland China, we do study a financial sub-center. What happened to Hong Kong? Because China, you can see Shanghai free trade zone, and then Shenzhen, Qianhai, and also Zhuhai, Hengqin. In that regard, we further go down to analysis this area. So we are doing a comparative study for financial sub-center, and then what implication to us. Okay. So London, we can see it's quite an interesting one. First, this is also employment data. This is talking about the financial employment side. Okay, we are clearly found in London, this national level, there are 5 centers, roughly there are 5 centers to support London as a global financial center. This one related to particularly job employment, the job employment up to the Edinburgh, Manchester, and then down to Bristol. This one 5 centers. They all are. And then you can see the job, the value, gross value, talk about GDP or the generator, they are roughly high. London 41%, and then they look at the contribution, and looking at the city level, you can see here, London also similar, very similar, 15% in terms of their employment, financial 15%, couple of the 15% outstanding to rest of the city that serve as a financial network to London. And then more, we also go to a local level, Great London. We also found similar event. Okay, greater, highly concentrated in this area, highly concentrated, particularly 1 and 2, Canary Wharf and the city around this area. We do find the similar, another particular cluster around also support. You also see very similar employment data. We see that is a particular interesting to us. Financial center, national level and local level, they all have their similar cluster to support there. And we found another one, financial region, Southeast England. The financial region relatively also high, surrounding to London, this area, based on our employment analysis. And New York, interesting one. We also found the Manhattan is here, but we do found something quite far away, 50 miles in Fairfield County, Greenwich, and Stanford, and of course Jersey City here, and then there's some of that. You can see we also analysis their financial employment data. This is the cluster. You can see this data in financial employment, all these small county. You can see, and then we can really find a 4 subcenter surrounding New York. Okay, 4 subcenter, particularly in the Fairfield area. We also particularly look at this one. This area, Greenwich and Stanford, this area, particularly high employment in this area. And also another one, we found another one, interesting one called hedge fund center. And this is Manhattan, the midtown, okay? This we call the lower, I don't know which call lower, which call high. Okay, this is Manhattan Center, this is the Central Park. This is the hedge fund concentration area. Okay, then we understand, but on the other hand, they have Fairfield, okay, this is called lower. Fairfield, they have another financial center, they call it one of 3 global hedge fund center in the Fairfield. There is 50 or 60 miles from Manhattan. There is interesting one. Similar, if we look at the Greenwich, why this place, why they become financial as hedge fund center, a lot, okay, because I believe at the time we are not able, okay, we look at the Greenwich particularly to search why can be there, and then the reason there, okay, and also their headquarters, and also surrounding this area, surrounding the also why the taxation, okay, the tax, Greenwich we particularly think is the pricey area, but the property tax is the lowest in United States, almost lowest, not necessarily the lowest one. So the Greenwich is summary, and we do find similar thing. London, South East England is financial region. Croydon, Brooklyn, and Readgate, all these financial clusters serve of the London and United States, Fairfield County, Greenwich, and Stanford. They have similar thing. Okay. Which means, how about Hong Kong? Of Hong Kong don't have such thing, but we do want to summarize. We do analysis. Another one. This is the recent national level and national level. The region I'm not going to present. I know I don't have time. And Greenwich, and then I don't have time. The factors driven Greenwich, and we don't have time to do that. And then the list, the IPO, particularly for high growth enterprise, the taxation we want to skip this one. I know I don't have time. Okay, we go to a theorization part. It's very interesting one. We do want to see contribution to knowledge. How is that? We found the financial center is a kind of the consolidation, concentration activity, but on the other hand, they also can be displaced, spread out. So the CBD core area, CBD financial center in Hong Kong, stock exchange, okay. In here, the headquarter banking, corporate banking, private banking, investment bank, okay, in this area. And then we found another one, the second round, the fund manager, hedge fund, okay, we do interview them here. For example, in Hong Kong, this Lang Gui Fong, okay, in this area. This IFC, exact IFC, and brokerage, law and accountant, and consultancy, insurance, and back was further away with the distant rents that go out. And then we found, and then all these subcluster able to move, in fact, able to move out. And then this one become increasingly centralized, but this one can be moved out. We see why is that we do serve, and okay, another then I show you the Hong Kong case. Okay, with the distant office become bigger and bigger, and distant become larger, and then you can headquarter, branch, agency, cell, and back office media. They can move out. And then, for example, we can see our Hong Kong Prudential Hong Kong 1,000 employee. In fact, there are 6,000 agents. Okay, in this insurance firm, totally employ 7,000 staff, but only 1,000 employee that is necessary can be headquartered, and the 6,000 can be moved out every year as long as the business, they will trace the business, they can go. And Hong Kong fund industry, about 30,000 employ, about 30,000 people. But 80% engage sales and marketing. They also tell you that our character now. So the 80%, which means sales and marketing, can move out. So just give you the experience even in this financial area. And then give you the financial, okay, you look at for the people see this all financial center, all the core area is in fact it is not. I show you some interesting one. The core area here, even this area not called core now. Okay, even okay, Chang'an, Huifeng, Chang'an, Huifeng, and then they are already substantial. The core is this part, and then now they are able to move to ICC, the another part, this part. Here and to here, in fact, already 30% rent difference here and here. But superficially, you don't see. But our interview, we do find even here and here, they already 30. Private banking must be here. Okay, you can't be here. Okay, this is big core. Okay, of course, generally we all say this core. Okay, I show you the big core, and then they start to move. They give you okay, the core area, and then the surrounding, the hedge fund management, and this is the core area in Hong Kong. And okay, now they do start to move. The CBD, the core area move, ICC. The private banking, you must be these two towns. Okay, let's say tell you about interesting one. Other one you can't be. And then more insurance and then banking, they all bank. We do have the case here, HSBC and then Hang Seng Bank, they all movement outside. They tell you the story. And New York as well, they also move. We don't have time. Manhattan gradually move, New York, and so as well move out. With the time going and they move out. So summarize this part. Finance center shows tremendous power for centralization, but on the other hand, they do spreading out. Many their organ, their parts, they can move, and then they need a financial cluster. And then this is the Hong Kong Qianhai Hengqin. So Hong Kong. Also, we come back to the early part presentation. Hong Kong don't have the such kind New York and London such kind network. Nationally and also locally, we don't have such thing because the boundary. Okay, one country, two system boundary. Okay, so and then this. Implication to you, we do need to actively involve on surrounding area, financial sub-center or development. So this one, London, New York, and then this Hengqin, and then Shanghai and Hong Kong. So that is another implication. We do those another conclusion in this part. Major finding. Okay, national financial network. And peripheral and local well-developed financial region as a center underpin and strengthen London and New York as the core of the financial center. The location coherent ABX and unique financial class constitute major part of financial network and eventually become complementary financial subcenter of the one particular IFC. Hong Kong lack of that kind of complementary financial subcenter in the surrounding area due to a historical or institution, a region or boundary, and then Hong Kong need actively engage in the development mainland free trade zone and financial cluster and turn them into the arms, the feeder. Okay, I know with a container port, another presentation, just like a container port, we need a port and we need a feeder port. So those sub-center may be the feeder port in this area. We do need to actively engage and turn them into our feeder port to complement our Hong Kong financial center. Okay, that is my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chow, for a very rich and interesting presentation. Now, would the project coordinator, Professor Douglas Arner, like to join Dr. Chow for the question and answer session? Is there any question for both of them?
Thank you for a very interesting and insightful analysis of IFCs in the major countries and cities. And I would like to hone in one particular area. In your first set of the slides, you mentioned about regulation and development, which will impact on your findings. Well, you know, I work in the area which looks at the Laporte's paper, looking at comparison across different countries on the legal regime and on efficiency, on corruption. And so you also found that the accounting and legal sector is much lower compared to New York and London. Anecdotally, I mean, I'm an accountant, so we know that the legal systems are very different, particularly in the US, where it is very litigious. And so I would like perhaps for you to, you know, look into how the political system, the legal system, which impacts on accounting and the financial regulation, that hopefully will, you know, not really a question, but perhaps something whether you want to look into, because I think it is extremely important, particularly when the U.S. right now is considering and studying the aftermath of the overregulation of Sarbanes-Oxley and Section 404 and everything else that impacts the legal and the accounting profession.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think it's a wonderful point. And we picked this because it's one example of some of the interesting things that we're working on. I should also highlight that at this moment, the first panel of the second day of a major conference on global regulation and financial centers is taking place 10 minutes down the road that we've organized. So that is a major focus. But if you're interested, take a 10-minute walk down after this, and the next topic of discussion is actually on corporate governance and ethics, and I think it's going to be a wonderful panel.
Yeah, but I'm wondering whether these are the kinds of factors that you incorporate in this particular TRS.
Yes, and that is that conference is the second annual conference of the TRS project. So what I'm saying is that there are different pieces of this, and it was interesting in one of our discussions yesterday. The last session of yesterday's conference was actually on financial centers, and one of the issues that we were looking at was exactly this point, that post-crisis, what is the role of law and regulation in financial centers? And I think compared to the situation pre-crisis, it's very different, and I think it's something that we're going to need to do some more work on, but some very interesting starts on that yesterday.
Just add one more, that in the accounting area, we have found a lot of overreaction in the 2008 and especially in the way in which the Sarbanes-Oxley has been designed, and a lot of liquidity, especially the ADRs, after allowing delisting, have come back to Hong Kong and China. So this is an area in which you might want to look at, because the regulation will affect the growth of the IFC. And the relationship between Tianhai and Shanghai and Shenzhen in relation to Hong Kong, Singapore, also is because of the legal regime. And so if you could enrich your very wonderful study, I think it will be a lot more stronger in terms of legal basis, theoretical basis as well.
Yeah, thank you. And I think actually on that, there's another team in the project that is actually working on the listing issues and is focusing on cross-listing. So I think the key to take out of this is we just picked apart that we thought was particularly interesting. We're just, this is just over 15 months into the project. We've got our first of 3 major reports is due out in the first quarter of next year. So what we didn't want to do was sort of present a preliminary view of that report. What we wanted to do is, I think, take what I felt was some of the most exciting stuff that we've come up with so far and bring it out. Yeah.
Let me give a quick response to this one. I just report to you. We do a wide-ranging survey now in the middle way. There are tremendous response talking about dilemma issue. They talk about Hong Kong regulations good, and then this regime common law system good, and then our advantage and edge. But on the other hand, those firms all complain. We have a lot, too much regulation from the Hong Kong MA, too much regulation from the XFC. They have a dilemma. But I can give you a quick question. On the whole, the common law system and then the rule of law is really significant for financial center development, really significant. But on the other hand, another one we are not able to distinguish yet, the so-called the ethics. The ethic and like the culture ethic, I attended yesterday the seminar. They also matters, and even some scholar they talking about those talking about the job moral part, integrity part, and then ethic part is more important than the rule of law. So this one maybe your guy need more look into this area. But I just give you a quick picture here. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Let me try and come back to this specific presentation and how it fits into the other pieces of the project. The presentation went by very quickly, so forgive me if I misrepresent the point. Is the point that certain activities, like banking, more amenable to these kinds of clustering, agglomeration effects than other kinds of activities like fund management or back office services?
Yes, okay. Banking, particularly in this area, could be really can move far away, back office. Okay, Hong Kong, I can give you the story, not writing here. Hong Kong's banking back office is in Malaysia, in India, Hong Kong. Okay, that's what we know. Of course, some in the mainland China, but increasingly in Malaysia, India, because also the system matters. But having said that, banking, a lot segment. If you're talking about private banking, corporate banking, okay, this segment must be IFC. It must be IFC. Even Cheung Kong Building, Hong Kong, HSBC, Wei Fung and Hong, that town already not that good enough. You need IFC like that. There is typically centralized.
That's exactly my point, right?
Yeah.
So, but presumably, the same argument would apply in Kuala Lumpur, Brisbane, Rotterdam, Chicago, Hong Kong, New York, London. So I think my point is that this applies to any specific concentration to economic activity. I would not, with all due respect to my colleague, I would not call Kuala Lumpur an international financial center.
Of course.
So I'm not sure, or is it within the purview of this project to think about why, even though certain activities tend to cluster the same way in Kuala Lumpur versus Hong Kong, we don't call Kuala Lumpur an IFC, but we do call Hong Kong an IFC.
Yes.
So what differentiates Kuala Lumpur from Hong Kong in that respect?
Okay, let me fit first. Okay, of course, that's ABS. Exactly, my presentation, the AB Advanced Business Service. Kuala Kuala Lumpur is not that much ABS. We are the ABS, so we compare the ABS data across the world. You found that it's very special. They are not universally spread. They only have some points, some cluster have ABS. Other one is not. So that distinguishes the financial center or not financial.
Because of the legal system, regulatory system.
Yeah, that come back to another her issue.
I'd like to
Yeah.
There's a lot of institutional and contextual factors.
Yeah.
I mean, Kuala Lumpur, immediately I say, why is it not ABS?
Yeah.
Because of the currency.
Yeah.
So all those, of kind of important contextual institutional arrangements,
Yeah.
I think have a lot
It's
to do with
amazing.
your
both these.
proposal. And as a result, I think, it will add a lot more depth into, if you kind of justify and theorize why the clusters are developed into those 4 ABS.
Yes. The short answer is we entirely agree with you. But this is a 5-year project. We're not done. We're just in our first year. So thinking of this from the bigger picture, really the first thing that we needed to do was get a clear picture of what's going on here and how does it compare to not only particularly the big competitors, London and New York, but elsewhere. In other words, how are we doing in the context of jobs? Where are there opportunities? Are there places where Hong Kong, as a financial center, have we already topped out? In other words, are there more jobs to be created, or will they simply go to KL, Shanghai, etc.? And so just the fact of collecting the data, beginning to look at it, this is interesting. Now, that's the first stage. The second stage is taking that further into regional competitors, into the sub-centers, analyzing those, looking at the specific issues in each of those centers as well as in Hong Kong, where sort of potential for growth, for risks, for competition lies. And so, yes, the short answer is we absolutely agree.
I'm not asking a question, but I'd like to suggest, since you asked, and I believe personally that it's important, the ethics, morality, integrity issue.
Yeah.
You can find proxies, aggregate proxies, looking at the Laporta framework on the legal enforcement of all the laws, the efficiency, effectiveness, corruption index, because you need aggregate, sort of proxies. And individually, I mean, it is very difficult, but when you do your surveys, you can look at the cognitive ethical reasoning levels across different countries, where you can also pick up the covert theory, ethical reasoning, in order to shed light on how you compare the different ABS.
And just thank you. Say I personally do that research before. In fact, 5 years ago, talking about comparative study, continental European regime, and Anglo-American regime. We do that before. We know that kind of regime is different, particularly that paper. Laporta. Yeah, we use reference that paper many times. We do that, but because this is one team. My percent, this is one team. We do have legal team. Suppose the legal team will talk more about that. Okay.
I should also say that the corporate governance.
Yes, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Our corporate governance team will be looking at.
This is a corporate governance team. Okay.
all the issues you've raised. I'm wearing a hat of an MC, so I'm not supposed to intervene. But I don't want to stop this discussion, which is going on very well. But I do know that there's another presentation. We are already more than 7 minutes behind schedule. So with that, can we thank Dr. Chow for the presentations and Professor Arner.